New York Governor Andrew Cuomo facing bipartisan backlash, calls for impeachment and possible criminal prosecution. It's over his top aide secretly telling Democrats that Cuomo hid nursing home deaths because the feds were investigating them. Melissa DeRosa said Cuomo's team, quote, froze because they were worried that giving out the information, quote, would be used against them. That aide trying to walk back that statement today, saying the governor's office was, quote, comprehensive and transparent. Greg, it keeps on getting worse and worse for Governor Cuomo. I guess the Biden DOJ is dropping this nursing home investigation, so he's off there, but the state of New York's coming after him.
Yeah, it's essentially this scandal has sent his political career to one of his rest homes. Because I don't think it's going to survive, nor should it. And the one thing that bugs me is how his team apologized to the state Democrats for putting them in a difficult position. Maybe apologizing to them first is not a good look. There's a whole other group of people you should be apologizing, like to the victims' families. Their apology is a political apology because they were more worried. Get this, they were more worried about how the fallout would affect them politically than actually the moral pain that they should feel for the deaths of these people. And they didn't seem too concerned about the press because I guess they figured the press would run cover for them because they have in the past. Remember how much they love their Cuomo. I went up on the Amazon to look at reviews for his book, and Entertainment Weekly, a great, terrible magazine, says that Andrew Cuomo is the hero that America never realized it needed. What clueless, drooling automatons the media has become. Not including all of us.
Shannon, of course not. And I do enjoy that magazine at the
Oh, it's terrible.
Shannon, so some of the, I guess, criminal charges that they've been looking at here, when you're hiding body count in the middle of a federal investigation, that could be considered conspiracy, misdemeanor, or possible obstruction. It doesn't look good for Andrew Cuomo. I imagine they're going to be lawyered up for many, many months going forward.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. And it's not just Republicans. You would expect Republicans and the GOP to be calling him out and going after him. But something has turned, because we saw that report a few weeks ago from the very left-leaning Democratic Attorney General there in New York, Tish James. She laid out the numbers and laid them bare. That seemed to really be a crack for them because now somebody has leaked this call that they were having with Democratic lawmakers. Somebody shared that information. So you're losing Democrats now. And some of them sounded really ticked off about the position they've been in. We hear that this is coming as an apology to these Democratic lawmakers from the Cuomo team, but apology not accepted apparently by Senate Aging Committee Chairwoman Rachel May, who's a Democrat there in New York. She said, the biggest issue for me is feeling like I had to defend or at least not attack this administration that appears it was covering something up. So when you're losing these Democrats now, they're so angry they're turning on Cuomo and his team. If they team up with the Republicans who are mad too, I think there will be investigations for years to come. It's not good when you've lost your own party.
Yeah, Juan, because remember what this is all about. The governor mandated that infected patients must go into nursing homes. And then when the feds investigated it, he hid it and played games. So this is really about getting answers for families who still don't know how their family members passed away or weren't even allowed access to the homes to say goodbye to them. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I think it's a very ugly situation, and I think Cuomo has to, just be honest about the numbers, Jesse, and there should be repercussions if he's not honest about the numbers. I'd say that about any politician, and I think in this situation with all the, the families and the emotion involved, it's doubly true. You got to be, accountable as a politician to your people, to the people of New York State. That's who he took an oath to. I will say, the excuse that I'm hearing is, he said he was fearful, or the aide said she was fearful of the Trump administration politicizing all of this. That just doesn't do it for me. I don't care about the politics of it. You got to be straight with people when you're dealing with something so explosive. I will say this, though. I think, the total numbers are still the same in terms of deaths. So let's not get that confused. Not they were hiding the total numbers. It was what was going on at the nursing homes. And he was, of course, acting, he thought, to keep beds available in hospitals. But still, you got to be straight with folks. Finally, I would just say, in terms of picking up on the bipartisan nature, you remember what happened down in Florida with Governor Ron DeSantis. You had DeSantis absolutely firing a health department scientist who he said wasn't keeping the numbers the way he wanted them kept so that he could open counties, and eventually her home was even raided. So I think we have to call all these politicians to account for playing games with COVID numbers.
Yeah, I think that was debunked down in Florida, that whole situation. Dagan McDowell, I recall in Katrina when managers of nursing homes were brought up on big charges when they lied and people died during that tragedy. I can't see why this would be any different.
There should be criminal charges related to this. I wonder how CNN and the Cuomo Bro Show is going to handle this issue, because that's what was going on. When that order was signed to send COVID-positive patients back into those nursing homes and prevent the nursing homes from even testing those patients, organizations representing nursing home employees warned the state and warned Cuomo, please don't do this. It will result in deaths. And now we know it's more than 15,000 elderly people died, and including nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Do you know what Cuomo was doing? He was feeling the warm glow of that spotlight from the left media, while people like Janice Dean were crusading to get accountability for their dead loved ones and for all of the families grieving. Let me give me just one breath. So, by the way, the woman, Melissa DeRosso, she was in Harper's Bazaar last year under the Voices of Hope issue in a glossy photo, I think standing in front of the state's capitol. Andrew Cuomo not only was yucking it up with his equally bad haircut brother, Cuomo went on, he barely got asked about the nursing home order on Good Morning America, CBS Sunday Morning, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and The View, but he did get a real pretty interview with him and his family in People magazine. I think that was about the time that his book came out. Without people like Janice Dean, I don't think that we would be where we are today. And it's the beginning of the end of Andy Cuomo's political career. Just one more thing. I wanted to wish a happy 60th wedding anniversary. It was yesterday, to Janice Dean's now deceased in-laws, Mickey and Dee Newman. We grieve for you, Janice, and we're so proud of you.
Well said, Dagan. Ahead.